Hi, I'm Travis from Eoto. This is Jason. We are making this video because we feel there's a lot of major misconceptions about electronic music in general and how we make our electronic music and how they differ. And we thought we'd try to clear it up to show what we actually do as a band. And a lot of electronic music is totally pre-recorded. Most all of it is pre-recorded in a basement. Some guy sitting there for hours and days and weeks and months to make it this perfect composition. And then he takes those compositions and puts them end to end with other people's songs that he borrows and makes a set of them on stage, where on stage it's more of a performance, dance performance than music making, although it is an amazing art form. And we do something totally different. We do 100% live and improvised, so we're playing every single note live on the spot and recording it, and then it loops around and creates these songs. And we just go from the seat of our pants. We never talk about music. We don't do any preconception of anything, and we just play. That's what I have to say about that.
Said and said.
Anything to add to that?
That was beautifully said. Maybe we'll play some music, give you an idea of what we're doing, and then we'll go back through and describe all the things that we're using to make the music that we got going. Here we go.
So we all have a lot of gear up here, and both of us have a lot of gear. And people are like, "Why do you always need all this gear for a DJ gig?" And because it's so different, and we need all these different tools to re-represent what a producer does in a basement. So I have. I'll just talk about all my gear first. I've got all these sound sources. Starting here, it's the Animoog synth on my iPad. I've also got other synths on my iPad. A Korg K-Oscillator Pro, a Korg Chaos Pad, a Korg MS2000, a Roland Gaia synthesizer. These are all hardware synths. The Nord Lead 2X synthesizer, and then Reason being used as a soft synth. And a bass and a guitar synthesizer and bass synthesizer, and a tom drum rig, percussion rig, and it all goes as audio into this mixing board where it's turned into ones and zeros into the AD converter, then goes to Ableton Live, which is our master looping program that is set up very differently than most people use Ableton. Most people use Ableton filled with pre-recorded clips. Like that's what a clip looks like, and that could represent a piece of music anywhere from 2 seconds to an hour. It can be any size chunk of music that you want, and most DJs have tons of those that they're choosing in between. We're making them up as we go. So they go into this audio world. Then I have a input effects chain, so I can do any of these effects to the input sound as it on its way in. Then it becomes, I can place any sound source that I'm playing into any one of these slots to become a track or to become a clip. And then it goes back out the output. And Jason has a similar setup, and he'll explain that. And the way I loop is playing a part. We start a click. Let me get if I have a part like this, and I want to record it, and I put it in channel 1, I'll go down here to the record pedal. This is an FCB 1010 by Behringer that sends Ableton a signal to start record and end record. So I'll play the part. And then it plays automatically. I can add a reverb or add a delay to it. Then get a bass sound going. And so on. So it's all multi-track. So any one of those sounds has its own effects chain, and any one of those sounds can be muted so that you can create real compositions on the spot. But it's basically a very, very live looping device, very elaborate live looping device. Other things I have on the guitar, I have a guitar preamp with a tube in it that makes it sound more guitar-y. And what else? All kinds of bells and whistles. That's mostly it, I suppose. And this thing, people often ask how I get the dubstep wobbles and chops, and one of the things is I've modulated the modulation wheel to affect the filter frequency. And so when I move it, it affects the filter frequency. And then on the fast ones, I can do it down here. So that is sending key commands, which are parallel to MIDI commands, to Ableton to tell it to do things. And this is a chop, similar. And that's basically it, just making up music.
Sweet. Yeah, it was really fun when we started playing. Is if we just were able to assign one knob to like an effect, we were like overjoyed with having this new toy to play with, and little by little, that's just built up into all this. I think Travis, what was the little? You started out with like a little Korg.
Korg, micro Korg, yeah.
Microkorg, yeah, and that was like his synth. That was his synth. Now he's just turned it into a full-on spaceship. So I've got things going on in my area too. I should go over, primarily uh, the drums that you see here. They look a little different, but they're supposed to be. And one of the things about the drums that people ask is, do I have triggers on the drums? And and we kind of pride ourselves, and Travis has really dug into like the EQing of the drums, so that as small as they are, they just sound really giant going through a PA. So we've got this small kit. It's a 20 kick, but it's only like 8 inches deep, and uh, and that's really weird to look at for any kick drum. And so a kick drum doesn't seem like it would have that much depth, but the way that I tune it and the way that Travis EQs it just makes it sound giant in a big PA system. Snare drums, piccolo snare drum, and a popcorn snare drum. And and one of the things behind that, we just wanted the drum set to sound different than every other drum set out there. So you get some odd shaped drums, and then you EQ them all different ways. We've got mics on the top and the bottom of the main snare to get some different subtleties out of it. And we've got mic on the bottom of the popcorn snare instead of the top. That gives it another little different thing on it. And then the type of cymbals that I've got are these stacked splash cymbals. So if I'm playing, I can have different textures of hi-hat. And it's really fun not having toms. It really forces me to have to think about beats in different ways, and more think about beats in terms of texture instead of I have a giant kit with lots of toms to do fills with. So that's that section. In this section, this is like my control center, and it's 3 iPads and a pitch shifter. So with the pitch shifter, I can mess with my voice.
Check 1, 2. I can make it sound nice and high like that.
Or I can bring it down, switch it, and I can mess around with it.
While I'm live.
Or turn it on, turn it on, turn it off. Since I do quite a bit of vocal things, I'm really trying not to have my voice be the same way anytime that I do some kind of vocal, that I make some sort of vocal presence. And over here, this particular iPad, this does some dual service. I use the Lemur application. I used to use the Jazz Mutant Lemur, and that lasted over 400 shows before it fell in New York. And then that's when I switched over to the Jazz Mutant Lemur iPad application. And this particular computer controls both Travis's computer and my computer. So some of the stutters that you hear on the overall music, I can control from here. So if I try to do an example of that, let's see, do you have anything up, Trav? Oh, there we go. So if that's going, then I can come down here. This is my stutter control center here, and I can hit like quarter note stutters on it, like sha da 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 da, and then we're back into it. So I can mix that up, or something, and I can do that with. So I can also do that with my kick drum, and it allows me to do certain builds or to add tension and stuff that I can't possibly play fast enough with my feet, like this. So we're playing, and I say I want to do some build up with the kick drum, and then it's captured it. So that's some of the stutters that we have. And I can do the same thing just to my individual voice here. Just kind of going through these effects a little bit for you. 2, 3. I can, yeah. South Bob Wanda. Ta 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 ta. Here we go. Here we go. Ta 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 ta. Yeah, yeah. Doing this, and that, and doing this, doing this, doing that, doing this, doing this, doing. So there's stuff like that, and then I have all kinds of effects up here I can do on my voice. Travis has he does a bunch of effects too with all his individual channels. So just always trying to affect the voice to do something different with it. Check 1, 2, like a bullhorn effect. And then up in this area, this is like a keyboard layout, which you can't hear, but when I press these keys, I can hear a keyboard in my head, and it helps me dial in to when Travis switches keys. So if I'm doing a vocal thing, okay, I know it's in the key of A, and then I'll come over here if I end up using some of my my harmony. I can set a harmony to my voice, so I know what key it's in. It's in A. Then I switch it on, and then you should already know when I walk in the door that there ain't no use in fronting on me. So I can harmonize myself with it. And then at the same time, I could switch my voice to like a T-Pain voice, which sounds better for that. You should already know when I walk in the door that there ain't no use in fronting on me. So I can go there with my voice. This pad down here, this iPad is running OSC on it, and I have a lot of my electronic drums in here, and I can have a series of just like glitchy sounds, or like just sound effects going on, and that's what this pad is. And down here is where I can loop myself. I have 12 tracks to play with, and I can control everything. Once the tracks are in there, I can go back and delete them or stack on top of them. And then this iPad here, this is my lyrics cheater. I throw all kinds of sort of acapella remixes that I'm singing live. So let's see. This is one that I'm kind of working on, this Busta Rhymes song called Give Me Some More. I don't quite have it down yet. But yeah, so I can cycle through here. And since I don't know the words yet, I'll use that to cheat off of. And then right here, this is a Korg wave drum. Not hooked up yet, but I get all kinds of funky sounds out of that. This is a djembe, acoustic djembe, and we painted it all white just so Zebler can do some visuals off the top of the head of the djembe. And I think that's my setup. My computer back here, I'm synced up with Travis's computer so that when he hits play and he controls the tempo, my computer follows it seamlessly. And the computer that we've got down here, this one records all of our sets, which at the time that we're recording this, we're getting ready to release our 500th set online. We've recorded over 500 shows, and we're really proud of that. And so that's always recording our own individual mix of that. So I think that covers everything on our zone.